Hey guys, Nate Schoemer here, and I have this amazing German Shepherd puppy named Harley. We're going to be training her to be a service dog. This is going to be approximately a 6 to 9 month program. I'm going to be teaching her everything from turning on and off light switches, from walking next to a wheelchair, to providing counter support, counterbalance, retrieving items, scent detection, all the different things that a service dog might need to do when it's working. So one of the first things you want to keep in mind is having the proper training equipment. The basics that you want to have is a collar. You can have a flat nylon collar like this one that she has on, or you can also use a martingale collar. Those are very good tools to use for training as well. And then a basic leash. I like to use a simple nylon thin leash. It's light, easy to use, very effective. You don't need one of those big heavy chains or something like that. Just something very light and very simple. And then also some sort of training vest, or maybe one of those training pouches that you can wear on your waist to use to hold your training treats when working with your young pup. So the first thing that I like to do when I start the training with a puppy is what is known as marker training, or loading the dog to the marker, also known as engagement training. What this is, we're going to teach her that a certain sound means she's going to get a reward. There's going to be two sounds that I'm going to be using. One is going to be yes, and the other one is going to be free. So when I say yes, that means she's correct and she's going to get a reward. But I have to bring it to her in place. This is what's known as a continuation marker. Then we also have what's known as a terminal marker. The word I'm going to be using is the word free. Now, don't get confused by the dictionary definition of the word free. When I tell her free, it doesn't mean free, go do whatever you want. It means you're correct, come get your reward. The technical terminology for this is known as a condition reinforcer. So primary reinforcer is food, toy, or affection. A condition reinforcer predicts the primary. This comes from the studies that were conducted by Ivan Pavlov, the Russian psychologist. Basically, he had a sound that would go off prior to the food being delivered to the dogs. And after a certain amount of repetitions, when the dogs heard the click, they would begin to salivate. And that's what he called classical conditioning. But if you think about it, all he really did was he renamed a word. And the word that he renamed was predictability. Because he did further studies. If the sound went off while the food was being delivered, or if the sound went off while the dogs were eating, they never became classically conditioned to the sound. The sound had to precede the delivery of the reward by a split second. So you're going to see, all I'm going to do in this exercise is I'm going to get her attention. When she looks at me, I'm going to use my marker, the yes or the free, and I'm going to deliver the reward so she can become conditioned to the sound. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to set her down, and I'm going to let her know I have the food. Right now, I don't need the leash. I'm just going to be using the food, and I'm going to get her to look up. Yes, then I reward. Notice there is a slight pause between yes and the delivery of the reward. Same thing with the other word. Free. Then I move back, encouraging her to come and get the treat. When she looks at me again, yes, I reward. I don't have to wait for her to look at me for a long period of time. I want her to look up at me, yes, boom, and get the reward. This should be fun and it should be engaging. Free. Then I move back. Again, notice how I'm saying yes before I move. And I'm saying free before I move. So this is how it looks. Yes, if I'm training a young puppy, free, without explaining what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start training her. Good girl. Yes. Very nice. Free. Good girl. That's very good. This way. That's a 20. Yes. Good girl. Free. Very nice. So right there, she wasn't looking. I messed up, but it's okay. She didn't mess up. I did. Yes. Good girl. Free. Very nice. Good job. Yes. Excellent. Free. Also notice I'm switching hands. Good girl. Yes. Free. Very nice. And I will continue to do this exercise until she becomes conditioned to the sound. Now, it's very simple to find out if the dog is conditioned to the sound, meaning they know that the sound is going to predict a reward. The way that I test this out is I get the dog in front of me, I say the marker sound, in this case the yes or the free, and I wait to see if there's a change of behavior. If the dog gives me a blank stare, then they're not conditioned. But if the dog looks at me and does one of four things, licking their lips, salivating, opening their mouth, or moving their paws, that shows me that they know they are about to get a reward and they are conditioned to that sound. And we can now use this sound within our training to help communicate more clearly what it is what we want and what we expect from our dog. And this would be the same as clicker training. So if you want to use a clicker, you could use a clicker. All it is simply a sound that you're going to use to pinpoint a moment in time when your dog is correct. And it's that simple.